All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Posey,
Here.
Vickery,
Here.
Riddell,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
and Stanley is here. Now we're going to have our showcase.
So I've asked our campus directors to provide some highlights from some things that are going on at their campus. Some of the highlights may have been prior to this COVID pandemic, and some of the highlights that they're going to provide have been how we've connected and maintained meaningful work relationships and relationships with our students in spite of the conditions that we're in. So I'm going to let them kick it off. Ronnie, are you starting us off?
I'll be glad to. Good to see everybody. This is definitely a different format. A couple things I'd like to hit on. I know you're going to hear this several times tonight, but the amazing response from all of our staff and all of our faculty and our students in transitioning to this online learning. I think back to when I was in the classroom. If I'd had to make that transition, I would have been overwhelmed, but our faculty and staff have handled it with grace, and they've been so professional through the whole thing, and it's just been amazing to watch. I want to brag about you. This April was going to be a Chickasha meeting, and I had a great plan. We were going to bring in some of our students from our pre-engineering program and some of our faculty, but we switched formats. But I'm still going to take this time and I'm going to brag about them. We started that program in Chickasha just a few years ago, and last year the faculty and the students got pretty involved in the VEX robotics contest, and we fielded 2 teams, and one of those teams made it. They qualified for state. This year we went all in. We had 4 teams, and 3 of those teams qualified for state. One of the teams, consisting of Adam Holting, Colton Spencer, and Jonah Reynolds, made it to the quarterfinals, and we were excited about that. But it gets better, because 2 of our teams, Lane Andreas and Cade Say was one of the teams. Maddie Jones and Ryan Tinder were the other team. They actually qualified for the final. They were in the 2 Canadian Valley Chickasha teams were in the championship match against each other. The team with Maddie Jones and Ryan Tinder won it. They're the state champions. A little bit of a bummer because Worlds is being canceled. The VEX World contest is already canceled. But all of those students that qualified are all juniors, so we're hoping they're all back next year and we go and we sweep state again. That's our plan at this point. So super proud of them, super proud of the instructors. It's Heath Bush, Julia Cook, and Jonathan Knapp. The thing that was really cool to watch this year is the instructors were there and helping and coaching, but those students ran with it. They took ownership of it. They became the experts, and they did a great job and represented Canadian Valley to a very high level. So super proud of them.
Thank you, Ronnie. Julie, are you next?
Good evening. It's good to see and hear all of you. Zooming has become a standard, and so we all look forward to many Zoom meetings each day with faculty, and jumping into some of those with students are the most fun of all. But what I wanted to share today with this transition to distance learning is just some things that come out of conversations I've had with Ronnie and Joe and with our instructors as we go into this second full week of instruction with them, is that the teachers keep saying how rich and deep the conversations with their students have become, because so many of them are very one-on-one, whether that's a phone call or a quick Zoom with them. I interrupted Marcus today and Zoomed in called him right in the middle of one of his Zoom meetings with his whole class. And so those conversations, those connections, and those scheduled events with students are very well received. We're finding that they're very well received by the students, and something that they look forward to. And when we're able to jump in and be a part of that too, we get to see that joy and not just hear that from the instructors. I have to compliment all of the relationship building that the instructors do prior to this event, to what happened, is really what makes this continued connection with those students possible, and their desire to still continue to connect with their instructors. And so more than anything, our instructors at all 3 campuses have a great gift and ability to serve in a way with their hearts first, and all that other stuff that they do, teaching and everything that comes along with that. But I think what our students remember most about our instructors is the heart that they put and the care that they put into what they bring to their students. And what I love is that they can continue to see that even through this medium. So.
Thank you, Julie. Joe, are you ready?
Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Hope you and your family are doing well and staying healthy. I just echo what Julie was saying about the Zoom meetings, and with the all the different things that the instructors were able to adapt so quickly on in regards to doing Zoom meetings. I found out something about something called a Loom that you can do within Zoom. That is a word I didn't think I used, but maybe once during the year 2020, from January to about March 12th. And now it's in everyone's vocabulary on a daily basis. It's really neat. It's great to hear all the stories. We have department meetings with our instructors once every week. We do them on Mondays, and they've been able to invite us into some of their meetings that they have with their students. And that has been just really a huge shot in the arm. You can get to go in there and get to see the students, get to say hello to them, talk with them for just a few minutes, and then get out so the instructor can continue doing their curriculum. Another thing that has been interesting with the Cowan campus, and I can't speak highly enough about the staff that we have at Cowan, especially with the instructors, was last week. We got actually last week, the Friday before, a week and a half ago, I'm so sorry, week and a half ago, we got word that the construction company needed us to start moving things out of the current building right now and getting them at least boxed up so we can start the eventual move. And quite frankly, that happened on the Friday before we were actually going to start school in this different environment. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, there's no way that these teachers can just handle something like this that's being laid on them. And so when I visited with them, they were all to a person, we got this. We kind of knew this was coming anyway. It's not a problem. And so we've been able to coordinate that. They're just finishing up with boxing everything. And then the next wave will begin next week with them moving the items into a temporary location in the new building. We'll explain a little bit more on that later. But it's just been so awe-inspiring to kind of feed off those instructors, where they're getting a lot thrown at them and they're handling it gracefully.
Thank you, Joe. It really is inspiring to be around people who are so optimistic and so ready to jump in and think innovatively and creatively and outside the box to make things happen. And it really, it makes you feel good. It lets you know that you're doing the right thing and that you have people who are passionate about not only their craft, but their students and the people that they work with. And it really is a neat thing to be a part of. So we really have a great team here, and I can't say enough positive things about all of them. So thank you.
Good. All right, now we're on to the construction report.
That'll be Joe and Julie. Joe, you want to?
Sure, I'll go ahead and begin. I have some pictures, so I'm not an instructor at Zoom level expertise, but I'm getting there. So I'm going to try this. It looks like it won't let me do that. Mari, it says it's disabled it. But in your packet that you got, there were pictures of the construction. As you can see behind me, my background is the new courtyard that we have. It's kind of fun. It's really neat. The turf is down there. It's really awesome. So we're doing that. Ooh, I got it now. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Can you see that picture?
Yeah.
This is the picture of the backside of the building.
Very
Oh,
You
yeah,
might
I'm in a different.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. And so construction's coming along really good. That took that last week. And then if you walk inside, one of the hallways, both the hallways look similar to this, where it has the lighting kind of up above where the blue is, where it kind of goes down. All the tile is put down, or the linoleum is put down. They just covered it for added protection. So that's been kind of nice.
shares his screen pictures. We lose the board members momentarily.
Yeah.
Here is the Health Careers A lab area. It's a really big area. Underneath, when you go into that dark space, that's kind of an area where it has kind of a kitchen and stuff, so they can start teaching students on how to feed people in the CNA curriculum. And then the next picture I have, because it was right across the hallway, was part of the Health Careers 2 lab area. And so you can see the countertops, they're protecting everything. The doors have been put in. There's a complete other side to that if I took a picture on the right-hand side. And then, goodness.
Okay, that needs to be the last one. I'm sorry. It was messing up our feed here.
No problem.
Sorry.
No problem. Those pictures are in your packets. So we're really proud of it. And right now we're just working on getting everything ready for the move to the temporary location. We're really just waiting for the blessings of the fire marshal. And so we can start inhabiting that and start phase 2, maybe a little bit sooner than originally talked about.
That is good.
Looks good.
Mhm.
Great.
So construction is still going on, and they're making progress. So
Yes.
thank you, Joe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Julie?
So just a few things. Just right before spring break, they started putting the aviation letters, words on the outside of the building, and then they put the plaque on the new wing in the hallway, just right outside the pre-engineering chemistry classroom. It looks just fantastic. And in addition to that, we're just still talking with them, the construction and engineers, a little bit about the exhaust in one of the labs in aviation. And so really, those are the only conversations that we're having right now with regards to anything with construction. Other than that, it's a beautiful, beautiful building, and it's everything we need and everything we wanted. So it's good.
And we're hoping to be back in it soon.
Yes. Yeah.
Although our teachers really are doing a great job without using it, we do want back in it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go on to number 4, which is the financial report.
We're going to transition to get Tammy on here.
There she is.
Sorry.
Hi, Tammy.
Hey guys, hello. Okay, so we're gonna just move through these different funds pretty quickly. Our general fund, cash and investments as of March 31st, 2020, we're at $13,665,188.25. Our collections for the year are at 84% versus 84.73% last year, so pretty well in line there. On our building fund, cash and investments as of March 31st, 2020, we're at $22,830,710.44. And then our collections were at 92.14% versus 88.6% last year, so just a little bit ahead. And then finally, our sinking fund, we're at $1,820,613.71. And then if you look at the cash flow statements, the graphics that they had in there, it'll look like our general fund took a little bit of a dive this last month, and it kind of did. So last month in March, beginning of March, we moved 100% of all of our salaries from or into general fund. We had the bulk of them there, but we went ahead and moved the rest of building fund salaries into general fund because we're going to expect to have to start paying some of those construction costs out of our building fund this summer. Our lease purchase funds are going to be pretty much all gone by then. So we're going to have to start drawing from that building fund. And so that's why we moved all of our salaries into general fund.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now number 5, administrative reports.
So I just wanted to highlight that we're meeting multiple times as a district leadership team, multiple times a day. Lots of groups of people meeting, making decisions. I've gone over many of the resolutions with you all that are on the board agenda for tonight. We will continue to look at cost saving measures as we move forward with the predicted revenue failure, and so we're committed to realizing that there's a downturn in the economy and figuring out what we can do so that we can maintain our staff and faculty and stay whole as an organization. And we'll know more in the next coming months. But our goal really is just to communicate expectations and stay connected. So I'm emailing, I'm sending videos, our campus directors are doing the same, daily, weekly connections with faculty and staff, and then the teachers and staff members are connecting with the students. So we really do have I feel like a strong remote learning, remote work system established and set up. So I think we're doing really well considering how things are. So thank you.
I have a question on that. Like everything, all our requirements should be met for students to go ahead and graduate or finish or be certified, whatever terminology you use.
So some of the programs, it's kind of, there's an individual answer, about 500 individual answers, maybe even more than that, for those students who are completing. So we have adults and we have different programs. So for example, FAA, and we just received word last week for our aviation program that those students during this time, distance learning time, they are allowed to do makeup work. So any student that was behind in the curriculum, that's the only online work that they will, or distance remote work that FAA will allow at this time. So it is to make up the hours that they had missed. So to progress, they're progressing if they were behind, if they didn't have the hours, but to advance the curriculum, we're not able to do that. Now, if this pandemic extends for a longer period of time than what we're thinking at this moment, then we'll have to go back and relook at, have another conference and conversation with FAA and figure out how to meet the needs of those students. We've got, for LPN, they have some workarounds established for their clinicals. So where they can do some remote clinicals, or can't think of the word that they use, simulated clinicals, and that they will allow some of that. And there's, was listening to Laurie describe how this situation has to look like. The student has to video the room that they're in, the door has to close behind them, it can't open back up, all these different things that they have to do in order for them to be able to take a test, at their own, and so it depends. It depends on the program. Surge Tech is a different one, and they do not have any approved requirements in place for the clinicals. So we're waiting. Those students really can't log clinical hours. They can do some of the distance curriculum that the teacher has established. But as far as getting clinical hours, we're not able to do that right now. And so every program is a little bit different. Everyone's handling it a little bit differently. As far as getting certifications, there's some that there has to be, at this point, it needs to be a hands-on certification, like a welding certification. They're going to need to be, the student is going to have to show the instructor or the assessment specialist that they can do the techniques that they need to pass that certification. So there's a lot of things that are just kind of on hold, but as far as getting hours, they are working on curriculum. The students are doing curriculum, and it is meaningful work. It just it is not
So
what we
it
would like for it to be.
may push some of them's graduation or certification to a later date.
Yes, yes. And one of the resolutions that I've spoken with you all about, the tuition refund, and
Right.
That one has to do with exactly that. So some of the adult students who are paying for their education, this is delaying some of them based on whichever program that they might be in. And so because of that delay, they might need to take a leave of absence, come back when we're, back the way we want to function. So we're everything's up in the air, but that's a really good question. And we do have meaningful curriculum. The students are working, the teachers have turned on a dime. Some of our programs, the majority of their curriculum was already online, like LPN, for example. Some of them may have had 5% of their curriculum online, so they really had to scurry and get some things put together. Instructional services has been a really good resource and help for them. So we've had do any of our other administrators want to add to anything that I've just said? Is there a way to see if they do?
They can
Can they raise their hand, or can they unmute?
Can they just come in?
They can undo their video, yeah.
If somebody wants to add to that, I assume you all heard me. I got kicked out of the majority of my phone conferences today, so it wouldn't surprise me if we're off.
So Dr. Lutz, you're really very accurate in what you said. And so there really wouldn't be much that I would have to add. So
Thank you, Julie.
I agree. Well done.
Thanks, Joe.
The only thing I would add, Jimmy, we have in management team talked about allowing those students who graduate to come back next year and take those certification tests.
Right.
That's a benefit that Canadian Valley gives. We pay for those certification tests. So that's been talked about, and that is going to be one of our plans going forward. So, but it's a moving target to try to put our finger on what we're going to do. So
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ronnie. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're on to agenda number 6, the personnel report. Acting on behalf of the board, Dr. Gaylor Lutz has accepted the resignation of the following employees. The resignation of Jeremy Copeland, Technical Assistant, El Reno Campus, effective March 13th, 2020. The retirement of Terry Kirby, Practical Nursing Instructor, El Reno Campus, effective June 30th, 2020. And the retirement of Angela Seacrest, Health Careers Instructor, the Cowan Campus, effective June 1st, 2020. Do we need to have an executive session? Okay, then we're gonna, I need a motion not to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to not go into executive session.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna call a vote. Christy? Aye.
She doesn't say it very much.
Aye. Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
All right, okay, now then we're gonna go on to item number 11,
Okay.
which is vote to approve the resolution to change the school calendar and ensure employees pay for COVID-19 pandemic, per addendum A.
Okay, do we not need to vote to approve the bear?
It wasn't on here.
It wasn't on.
No, but it should have been. You're right.
I think we need,
We do need to vote.
we need to
We always
vote,
do
so
vote
we're not going
afterwards.
into executive session, but we
No.
need to vote that
Okay. Okay, let me go, then we'll just go back. There's just 3 items missing then.
I can do the both.
she's special.
Okay,
Her and
We don't normally
Travis.
separate the retirement and resignation, just the people that we hire.
Oh, okay, so this could be all one line item.
okay, all right, so then I need a motion to approve the retirement of Jeremy Copeland,
Well,
Terry
he's-
Kirby, and Angela Seegers.
He's resignation.
He's
I mean, the
resigning.
resignation. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. He's resigning, the other two are retiring,
Okay,
but they're all resigning.
okay,
It's okay, so just say resignation for all of them.
okay. So I need a motion to approve.
motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, vote, Christie?
We have to vote every time. Yeah, now
Because it's been, yeah.
on. Okay.
Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Okay. All right, now we're moving on to item 11.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Which is the vote to approve the resolution to change the school calendar and ensure employee pay for COVID-19 pandemic per addendum A.
So this is just a shortened school year for the students, is what this resolution states. However, the contract will remain the same for all the employees, and we have those remote requirements in place. All employees working 30 hours a week will continue to be paid as they are working remotely. And there are a few who are providing essential duties that do come on campus.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, vote, Christie?
Aye.
Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
All right, item number 12, vote to approve the resolution to grant emergency power to the superintendent due to the COVID-19 pandemic per addendum B.
Our current policy, we do have a current policy and procedure in place that is general, allowing the superintendent to make emergency action as needed if an emergency situation develops. However, this policy is specific to COVID-19 pandemic.
Make a motion to approve.
Second it. Okay.
Christie?
Aye.
Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Item 13, vote to approve the temporary tuition refund and leave of absence policy due to the COVID-19 pandemic per addendum C.
And this is what I spoke to you all about earlier.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Christie?
Aye.
Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Item 14, vote to approve the health and safety policy in response to the COVID-19 pandemic per addendum D.
And this policy is exactly as it states. It's our commitment to the health and safety of our employees, our students, employees' families, as we navigate through this crisis. That will follow the CDC guidelines and executive orders of the state.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Christie?
Aye.
Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Okay, item 15, vote to approve an amendment to facility use and license agreement for addendum E.
So since we are closed, Cafe 66 is not able to function. And they were paying us lease payments, and then they were able to make money if our students were there utilizing their food service. So we decided, since we're closed down, that it would be best, the right thing to do would be to not charge them from now through June, since they will not have an opportunity to open back up. I will tell you that they were approached by Mobile Meals to provide food for El Reno community, and I want to say it's over 100 families in the El Reno community. And so we have allowed them to open up and use our facilities to prepare the food free of charging there.
Jeanette,
Good.
anytime.
Mhm.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Okay, item 16, vote to approve the purchase of furniture for the Cowan campus in the amount of $76,565.50 through OU State Furniture Contract R16,000-16.
This is mainly classroom furniture. on this.
Make a motion to approve.
Second it.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Okay, item 17, vote to approve the purchase of furniture for the Cowan campus in the amount of $93,556 through OU State Furniture Contract R16,000-16.
This is furniture mainly for the commons areas of the new construction, so the dining area and then the lobby area for that south entrance.
Like big chairs and sofas and that kind of stuff.
Tables and
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Okay, item 18, vote to approve the purchase of a server for security cameras for the Chickasha campus in the amount of $35,437.43 through statewide contract SW 1048D.
this server was old, and this will allow us to update and provide consistency across the district.
Same company.
To my knowledge, it would communicate together. Nelson, you probably know, is it the same company?
I'm sorry,
Oh, you,
Wes is talking at the same time.
well, Ask Wes is the.
Okay, I got one here.
I'm the security camera for the Chickasha campus. The server, I'm sorry, not the security camera, the server for the security cameras. The goal was that it would provide consistency across the district, so I'm
I
assuming.
can answer that. Yeah, our old server died, and we were able to use an older server to at least bring the functionality back up, but we've got to get something in there to be able to replace it with. And yeah, the newer server will allow us to go to the same system that El Reno and Cowan use currently, and that way the entire district will be on one security system, bringing quality across the district.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Okay, item 19, vote to approve the subscription agreement between Canadian Valley Technology Center and AHIMA VLab for the medical office program at the Cowan campus.
This is for a medical office program. It sets us up as a lab testing site and allows us to embed the curriculum, embed the testing stuff into the curriculum.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Okay, item number 20, vote to approve the agreement between Canadian Valley Technology Center and Velocity EHS for EHS software district-wide.
So this is SDS sheets that each of our programs have to keep up to date. Anytime they change out a chemical that they're using within that classroom, they have to change out the SDS sheets. And so this is an online software that keeps us up to date. It's a pretty taxing process to change out every sheet every time you get new chemical in your area. So this will help us a lot.
Vote to approve.
Second.
Christie,
Aye.
Penny,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Jimmy,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Item 21, I'm going to read. I'm gonna read it, but we're not gonna vote on it until next week. So it was the vote to approve the contractual agreement between Canadian Valley Technology Center and Southwestern Oklahoma State University for licensed practical nurse to Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. And we're gonna table that until our next board meeting.
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
Chrissy? Aye. Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
All right, we're on number 22, the consent agenda. Look through that. See if there's anything you want to vote on.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Christie? Aye. Penny?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Any new business?
I was just gonna say, for the next few months, our board meetings will probably be right here because this is where we're going to have the technology set up and established. Unless we, have more of us going to remote. And so, we can push for that. I know, IT is willing to help do some training so that we can be sure we can all get on and have the same type of meetings via Zoom.
Board member comments? What?
Travis, we're gonna dock your, what is it? Your reimbursement for your mileage since you didn't drive.
All right.
It'd be a small
Sounds-
in your check.
Okay. That's only 3 times you gave me a hard time, Jimmy. You're slacking.
But you're special.
Yeah, I am.
You'll make up for it next time, right?
Yeah, I'll work on it. I've kind of got lax.
I do just think kudos to the staff, to administrators, to the staff, to the teachers for making such a quick switch to have to do this online learning. And I have heard from some people saying how pleased they've been or how pleased their kids have been as students about how well this has gone. So, and their positive attitude about it too. So I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, one other thing I'll throw out there too, Gayla, I was really impressed that CV Tech kind of headed up that community forum down in Chickasha today. That was really good. There was I think a couple of good feedback points on there, and everyone voted to keep doing that. So definitely liked seeing CV Tech leading that up for Chickasha.
I agree. They did a good job. Angie and Dick Lowe did a great job, and we'll definitely talk more about that in the future. It was first time today, and I think Angie has a lot of good information to share for the small businesses, just throughout the whole district. It's just getting it all put together. So she's definitely been working on that, and appreciate her and the whole biz team for getting that stuff put together. So yeah, they did a great job. I was glad to be able to hop on there today and see that. It was good.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Okay.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you calling roll?
Do I need to? Okay,
I
Chrissy?
think
Aye. Penny? Aye. Dean?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Thank you all.